Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Sheikh Sufi Ba. SheikhSufi@gmail.com. CheikSufi@gmail.com. Opening prayer for the greatest shaman that I know in the West, Brother Ankh, Rising Sun. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. A'udhu billahi bismillahi inna waliyullahu. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin al-Fatihi lima ulika wal-Katimi lima sabaka ناصر الحق بالحق والهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم وعلى آله حق قدره ومقداره العظيم.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'een. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin. Alhamdulillah. Dr. Sanada Kamara, co-founder of Temple Mother Earth, sending love, peace, and abundance prayer to everyone around the world.
Greetings, loved ones. My prayer for you for 2024 is to be in a vibrational receiving match. A vibrational receiving match for happiness, for giving, for gratitude, for wisdom, for discernment, with abundance of blessings, for your soul tribe, for your soulmate, for your open-mindedness, for your spiritual growth, for divine love, and for a healthy, emotional, physical, spiritual body. I wish you all these things and pray that you receive all these things in the year 2024. I'm saying in all languages. Ashe, Amin, and Namaste. You can reach me at Instagram, Sequoia_spirit, that is SEQUOIA. Again, I wish you all these blessings and so much more in the year of 2024. Thank you.
Amor, 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 amor. El mensaje es el amor. Ama a tu hermano como a ti mismo. Eso es amor. Amor, 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 amor. El mensaje es el amor. Ama a tu hermana como a ti misma. Eso es amor. Grandes fuerzas de la paz crezcan siempre, siempre más. Que reine la paz y acaben las fronteras. Todos somos uno.
Hi family, my name is Oswald Pomakisa and my wife.
Joanne Pomakisa, hi.
Together we serve medicine of the grandfather, Wachuma. Our phone number is 201-981-4545. Giving thanks to Brother Hank for the opportunity to send this message. The message of honesty, and our bodies is very intelligent. It has the ability to bring to the light whatever we're hiding by making us sick, so that nothing can really stay hidden. Beautiful way to move all those things that we carry from the past, to be honest.
Beloved mighty omnipresent, great hosts of sitting ascended masters, great angelic hosts, great cosmic beings who govern the system of worlds and the seven mighty worlds. Lord, we call upon your grace to heal the earth of the actions of the sinister forces. Their plan is to eliminate the population in the most horrible and murderous ways. They have already poisoned our food with things we can't even pronounce. They poison the water with fluoride. They poison the air with chemtrails. They have poisoned the medicine with side effects that will kill you if you take it. And they have poisoned the technology against mankind. They have weaponized all these things against mankind. We call upon your grace to free us from the sinister forces whose diabolical plan is to make this world the most hellish place. America, which was the light of the world, that was brought to the world, established in this world, to make every human being here ascendant, and then to have that spread throughout the world. Lord, we ask you to incarnate in this very planet, incarnate in mass, incarnate with sitters and ascended masters, with divine beings of every type, to bring in revolutions of meditation, revolution of mantra repetition, revolution of chanting, revolution of spreading love and light, revolutions of knowledge. Lord, we call upon you to empower us with our divine selves, so that we can rid the world of these very sinister forces whose aim is to do nothing but create this place to be a Sodom and Gomorrah. We already know that Earth is the most wicked planet in the universe. Let us turn it to be the light of the world, so that it is the greatest planet in the universe, so that we excel even what is happening in the great central sun. As a matter of fact, Lord, we ask all the beings from the great central sun to incarnate on the earth, to incarnate on the earth, to incarnate on the earth within us, so that we could do the work that I'm begging for now. Oh Lord, I ask this in the name of Swami Muktananda Paramahansa, Bhagavan Nityananda, Guru Maha Chivilasananda, beloved Saint Germain, Lord Jesus the Christ, Lord Buddha, Allah, and the great Sunnah Kumar. Almighty I am, Almighty I am, Almighty I am.
A call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you. Every single day, we are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Crystals and pyramids. Success is your destiny. Love, wisdom, power. Remember always who you are. Yes, yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Yes, yes, I am. Yes, I am. Love, wisdom, power. Yes, yes, I am. Wisdom, power. Master. Yes, I am. Yes, love, wisdom, power. Yes, I am. Say yes to yourself. Yes, I am. Yes, I am relaxing.
Blessed love, this is Jah Lion King, you know. Priest of an order of Melchizedek. Yeah, man, priest Jah Lion King of an order of Melchizedek. Give thanks to life, give thanks to health and strength, you know. Give thanks for positiveness. Give thanks for consciousness. Give thanks for righteousness. Give thanks for love. Give thanks to Alice Flathead. Jah, universal love, you know, one and all, you know. Give thanks to all good things and all abundance and all blessing. And then I approach in a new year, you know. You know, praying for everyone to be more conscious, more righteous, more loving, caring, more sympathetic, loving each other, you know, and caring for each other, you know, because God is love and love is God, you know, so let us all love, you know. And remember, love is the key that opens all doors, no matter what race or nation. Love is the key that opens the door for only Mount Sinai. And whosoever enter in, ever live a life shall have, you know. So love is the key, you know. So peace and love to the world, you know, and blessing and prosperity and joy and happiness and goodness for the 2024 coming from Andrew Priest, Jah Lion King. And if you want to contact I, 347-444-4460. Give thanks a lot. Jah Rastafari, Holy Emmanuel I Selassie. Jah Rastafari, Holy King Emmanuel Scepter. Jah Rastafari, heal the might, heal the strong, the might, I am the I am. Holy John Marcus Messiah Gabi I Selassie. Jah Rastafari, live it, and faithfully worship my Lord. We know people are Selassie. Jah.
Family, I am here with a magical moment of young musicians, and this is Kim, Sister Kim, and she has a message about investing into the future musicians of our community. Sister Kim, tell us what you got here.
Hi everyone, Kim, proud parent of children at the Big Apple Leadership Academy for the Arts. We teach HBCU high stepping marching band to our kids from age 5 and up. It is a free after school program, tuitionless, and it's open to all. Our kids are amazing. If you can, jump on our website. We're looking for support, donations. Our kids need new instruments so that they can high step on. Our website is www.bola.org, BALAA.org. And I appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so family, listen up close. We're talking about investing in the artists of tomorrow. By investing in them, if you have a little expendable change to invest in the youth, the genius, this is the opportunity. And in this description on this video will be the details of sending your donation to PayPal or Zelle or Cash App.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your support. Our children are the future.
All right, peace, everyone. Yes, we're going to have Brother King, Brother Maymoon Il will be joining us, and we'll have Brother King Il Bay, our other guests. He will be on speaker. We just just the technical difficulty and getting on. So King Il Bay will be on speakerphone when so Brother Maymoon will be up shortly, and the King Il Bay will be on speaker. So we have today's topic: social reform on an international scale through restoring the knowledge of Moorish national identity to the Moors. I'll read that again. A social reform on an international scale through restoring the knowledge of Moorish national identity to the Moors. Now I am a co-founder, teacher, and curriculum developer of the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law. And we have free classes as well as paid classes, but we have free classes on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. We have the Moorish Treaty Protection and Constellations. About 12 or so classes. We have the Moroccan, we have the Moorish body politic, formation, and constitutional governmental principle course, which embodies 12 classes and a host of others. And so we also have paid classes, but on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page, those are free classes. Also, to get my books, Moors and Masonry Part 1, Moors and Masonry Part 2, How Our Venus and Moon Rule, Etymology and Vocabulary, Supplementary 1, The Masonic Compass Square, the connection to timekeeping and measurement, the Illuminati and the illumination of the mind, go to moorsandmasonry.org. That is moorsandmasonry.org. Also, we upcoming and on May 18th, as I've been marketing this since I've been on this platform, since the first Monday in December, the Moorish Covenants, Birthright and Nationality Claim Conference here in Philadelphia on May 18th at Majestic Hall, 800 West. All right. 800 West Holiday Avenue. All right. So King was able to join us. All right. So live in the flesh. This is Brother King L. Bay. He was able to connect. Thank you. So I'm so excited. This is the first time King has been with us, has been with the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law, has been with the Moroccan Post School of International Law for 2 years now. And so it's definitely, this brother has a wealth of knowledge, and I wanted to bring him on this platform to share his wealth of knowledge. We had a wonderful discussion on Thursday and Friday, and we came up with this topic and notes. So I'm going to read the notes, and King and I will elaborate on them. So we're going to get right to it. Once again, the topic is social reform on an international scale through restoring the knowledge of Moorish nationality, national identity to the Moors. Now, King, before we get started, I want you to tell the audience a little bit about yourself.
Okay, my name is King L. Bay. I've been in the movement for about, I've been litigating for over 10 years. I've probably been in the movement for about 12. I've been a jurist. I've litigated a lot of different, from different cases, from criminal to civil. I have won a lot of different, from criminal, civil, child support, all of these different things. I started off in the area of child support, and then I started progressively attacking jurisdictional issues on due process, and that's where I catapulted my stuff, myself and the organization Moorish Union of Sovereign Tribes. We have a Facebook, and we have we had a website, and now we're going through revamping to make it a little more people friendly, and we're going to up our image and that.
Yeah. So King, what's the name of your Facebook page?
Moorish, I think it's Universal of Sovereign Tribes.
All right, Universal Sovereign Tribe. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then we are what we're now currently the Moorish Union of Sovereign Tribes, but we're still using that. But you can also find me on King L. Bay Facebook, and I always posting information on King L. Bay on the Facebook. I do videos and all type of stuff, and you can find my YouTube channel, Universal Moorish Universal Society of Tribes, and my YouTube channel where I post videos.
Awesome. King is also one of the panelists at the May 18th May 18th conference. All right, so he'll be coming from Cincinnati and joining us here on May 17th. I've never met King. I've never met King in person, so I'm definitely excited about, definitely giving his brother a great hug. for the work that he's been doing. So we're gonna get right to it. All right. Once again, the topic: social reform on an international scale through restoring the knowledge of Moorish nationality and national identity to the Moors. Uh, Brother Hank put the flyer up here. All right, so you see here upcoming dealing with the Moorish governance and birthright and nationality claim conference. You know, political unity, location, Majestic Hall, 800 West Alney Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19130. We have the time from 10:30 a.m. to midnight. The cost is 125 and includes lunch and dinner. All right, this is the Eventbrite. I have the flyer and the Eventbrite link pinned on my Facebook page, Abdullah Facebook page, and we have below for more information. You see the names and numbers, and so to contact. But so once again, the tickets are still available. So get them while they're hot. You see here, and we'll discuss the conference as we discuss the presentation. All right. So the King, the first comment that we discussed, why the Moorish national identity, why the Moorish national identity will give us the most leverage, tie us back to the land, restore us as the landlords of our estates. So I want you to elaborate with that, King. So we have here why the Moorish nationality, it will give us the most leverage, tie us back to the land, and restore us to the landlord position over our Moorish estates.
Okay, so as we can see back in history, a lot of the treaties that were written that had leverage, the granting with the European powers, cause the Moors controlled the sea. They controlled commerce. So the Moors wrote all of these different treaties with the European powers that are in power today. And these so-called other nations, for as Indians, and they are subjects. They did not write these treaties. We granted these treaties, and these treaties give us more leverage. You can see the Moors throughout history in their commerce, through their activities, through these contracts. We got to remember treaties were contracts. So they created certain obligations. And you can see those, and those give us a lot of leverage versus trying to go with other identities that other people created for us. Like Indian, there was a created identity for us to subjugate you. Black was another identity that was created for you to put you into another subjugation situation where you won't be recognized as a landlord. So now, since they say where the Moors at, it seemed like the Moors have abandoned or acquiescence to a jurisdiction. So now they can say, since they're not here, we can administer their estates. We don't have to pay taxes. We don't have to pay homage. We don't have to do all of these things. So when we choose a lesser identity that wasn't created by us for us, then we're at risk of putting ourselves in a lesser position where now we have to get the benefits and privileges that they store upon us when we the real true landlords and should be getting the taxes. We should be reaping all what they owe us.
All right, so we'll continue right along. Our Moorish nationality and political unity will change the position of our people from being in the position of receiving privileges and benefits on our land to our exercising our blood rights and self-determination claim to the land. The Europeans will receive the privileges and benefits from being on our land from us, our people, the Moors. All right. So go ahead, King.
Okay, so we have to look at everything and put it in proper perspective. When you're looking at contracts, I want y'all to understand when you're dealing with contract law, because that's what I'm very good at. The people in the contract are the people, the signatory powers. They're the ones who can enforce the contract. If your name is not in the contract, then you have no right in accordance to the contract. You can't enforce nothing. So we must understand when you're looking at the four corners of the contract, what is the rights saying and what is how we identify it plays a very important role. So if we're the landlords, right, they're the tenants. We're not in the tenant position. Tenants have to pay rent. They have to lease. That's a lease contract. That's why people go to jail. They're leasing and getting released. It's a lease. They're under land patents, under leasing. So what happens when you under these leases? You have to pay rent. You have to pay for occupying space. You have to give the Moors the taxes. If we would be getting these taxes, what would happen? It would allow us to do what? We're talking about true liberation. We'll have the funding, the resources to do everything to educate our people, to keep our people abreast with all of the Moorish knowledge so that we don't allow this mistake to happen again, so that we'll learn from the past so that we won't repeat it in the future. We must understand the importance of the nationality as being a Moor and how it's identified in the contracts. And what we must do to enforce these contracts by understanding who are we, what are we, how we're identified throughout the language in the contracts. Because what we're dealing with is we enforcing contract law on an international scale, bringing us back into the international fold of government, being recognized among the other nations. To now we can say, hey, the Moors are back, we're here, and we want our contract rights. We want to enforce these contracts to the fullest letter of the law. To the letter, they must follow the letter of the law. Every spelling of every word, what's in that contract, they must uphold.
This is the bad brother right here, y'all. I tell you, yeah, this, I'm loving this, man. I'm loving this. All right. Continue right along. We as a people will continue to be in our current conquesting and subjugating. We as a people will continue to be in our current conquesting and subjugated by foreign powers if we do not gain the knowledge of our Moorish nationality and organize with that knowledge in a political governing body. All right. This is where we'll tie the conference in. You know what I'm saying? We will tie the conference in. One, we will always be in a subjugated position whereby we will be forever taxed by foreign colonial conquesting power operating on our land. Our only position will be tenants and will be disconnected from the land politically and will not have any land rights. As I said before, King will be joining us. He'll be one of the panelists at the upcoming Moorish Governance, Birthright, and Nationality Claim Conference here in Philadelphia on May 18th. So we're looking at the conference is to facilitate political unity. The issue we're going to talk about later on, that the nationality is a international law human rights subject. So what is the issue? The Moors lack political unity. We have the smoking gun. We have the smoking gun, meaning that we have documentation, hospital records and applications, census, and all levels where black is on there. That's a human rights violation. So we have the smoking gun. What do we lack? Political unity. So this is what the conference is about, to facilitate a national Moorish governing body. And so King, I'm glad King is on board. I salute the brother. So go ahead, King.
Okay, so reason why we must come into this political fold and come together, so that we have to stop being taxed. One of the elements that they're attacking us on all levels is taxation. How are we going to rise as a people when every time you turn around, you're taxed? You're taxed on everything you purchase. You're taxed on some foods. You're taxed on every level. Education, you're taxed. Tax. We will never be in a position if we don't come back into the political fold of the Moorish government, because all we be doing is paying taxes. You be taxed on, even when you die, you're taxed on your estate. And if you don't know some of the rules to evade some of these taxes, you're going to be doing this, and your children are going to inherit this tax. They're going to inherit this tax liability. Long as we stay in this position, we will never get ahead financially. We will always be at a lesser position where we'll continue to be taxed. And this is one of the ways they subjugate us by taxation. Every time you turn around, you're paying a tax. How would the Moors rise? Through taxation. And then through taxation comes inflation. So we not only do we got to deal with the taxes, as inflation rise, taxes, the prices rise. So now that you're even being more taxed. So now, since the country, they're mismanaging the budget, you got to deal with all of this money that they give out to other countries and still pay taxes on it. So when they give out money to I'm not going to say other countries because I don't want this to be banned, but when they give to these other countries or favorable countries, we are liable for the tax. We are liable for that debt. That's a tax. We're liable for it. Your children going to inherit that debt. Your children going to inherit that debt. We got to come out of that. So if we were the landlords, now we can enforce the tax. Now we
King,
can put the sanctions on.
King, as you were talking, I know we didn't, and preparing for today's presentation, we didn't address the issue of reparations that's being pushed by a lot of our people. Now, this is the great opportunity to do so, because that's what I was thinking about. All right, so let's throw the reparation matter there. Let's say that our people, are given, say 5 billion. Let's use 5 billion. All right. And then and I want you to discuss that, and then also bring in the issue of taxation again, that the reparation does not put us in the position, our rightful position as landlords. It does not remove them from taxing us, a foreign power, the United States, and from taxing our people. So address that um in conjunction with reparations.
Okay, the purpose of reparations is to restore. See, a lot of people think it's
No,
all
no,
about.
no, hold on, King. No, I'm not talking about what I'm talking about. What our people. All right, I'm talking about the issue that I want you to address that how our people are arguing reparations. All right,
Okay,
they're not arguing restoring. All right, they're
okay,
arguing getting a check. They're not. All right, we're talking restoring. We're
okay.
talking restoring. The Moors classified nigga color black do not talk restoring.
All
All
right.
right. So let's
So,
from the position of Moors classified nigga color black. If they're given a $5 billion, $5 billion is allocated. All right. $5 billion allocated, and then they spin out, they give checks here, individual checks, individual checks, individual checks. It doesn't, our people will still be taxed. So there's no restoration. So I want you to tie that in.
okay. So let's say if they give us, let's say the 5 billion, and as we look at it, when you go purchase a car, they're not giving you no tax exemption on anything. You still going to pay all the taxes. And when that money come in, you still going to have to pay the taxes on the money as a gift tax to the IRS. So even if they gave you $1 million, you're going to pay 30% of that to the IRS. You're still going to be liable for the debt because it's a debt. What people got to understand, the word claim and debt is synonymous. So when they're saying that they're making a claim or you making a claim, you got to understand there's debt involved. There's obligations involved. There's duties involved. So if black people get reparations, I want y'all to understand this. They're not going to give it without underlining effects. And what do I mean by that? They're going to say, okay, since you guys took this reparation money, you can never come back forward and make any other claim. We satisfied our obligation. Now you going to waive your right. Now you acquiesce. You consent it to the jurisdiction, and now you going to be forever a tenant. Now they're going to still continue to tax you. So that five that $1 million they may give to all of us, it's gonna get ate up in taxes anyway. So it ain't do you no good. It just look good as an appearance. It just look good as an appearance. Because you're going to still pay taxes. Y'all going to run out and buy all this expensive stuff, buy all these cars, and you're going to get taxed on everything you purchase. And it didn't do you no good because it went right back into their pockets. They didn't say, okay, 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, well, y'all got these reparations. But why would you want the reparations when you can come back into the restored position as a landlord and they owe you taxes? Why would you settle for a couple of $1 billion when you can have an estate as the landlord and forever get a lease on the land where they enjoy being here? They will have to pay taxes for the rest of their time being here. Why would you change position? Let me explain to you about reparations. It's a gimmick because it don't waive the taxation. You still gonna owe the money to the IRS. You're still going to owe the Federal Reserve notes. And most of us are not equipped with knowing how to invest, know how to do everything, and do all of these other things. And they're probably going to tell you can't do any of that stuff when you get the reparations. They're going to probably make you spend it. Look what happened with the PPP loans and all of that. They was forcing people to spend the money. Why? Why was they forcing you? Because they wanted the money to go back into the economy for big business. So all of the reparations you gonna get is gonna go back into the hands of the big business. And since you wasn't a part of the plan, why would they consider you anyway? You wasn't written into the plan of action. Black people were meant to be the burden bearers. Moors wrote the treaties. The Moorish identity is going to leverage the playing field, and it's going to allow you to come in and enforce taxes on them. They have to make us whole. We must understand how we need to look at these treaty relationships to understand the contracts that's involved, so that now we can understand that they have been subjugating of our rights of taxation when they owe us taxes. When you start looking at it from other positions, from positions where they created the identity, then it's always going to be an inferior position. We must understand how to look at nationality as it relates to politics dealing in international law and our economy.
Say that one more again, man. One more again, please.
We must look at this from our true political position based on coming back into the international fold of government so that we can stabilize our economy. We must understand the politics that's involved dealing with these treaties and these contracts, enforcing the rights, understanding the process that was necessary for these contracts to happen. They agreed to these contracts. And long as you claiming these other identities, they never have to honor those contracts. They never have to say, oh, we're going to put you back now, because you're claiming, you're identifying as something else, and this is the game of politics. We're talking about contracts. We're talking about rights conferred by contracts. We're talking about your political position and how these people are supposed to honor the contracts and what they are obligated to under the contracts. This is how we win. When we understand this from this position and into international law, so now we can go into the international courts and we can say, look, this is what we owe. We need to tally up all of this. We ain't even talk about the war crimes and all the other crimes. We're talking about just coming back into the Moorish identity in which they try to commit genocide against, to erase you from history so they don't have to honor them contracts. That's what people don't understand. Is why you think they don't want to identify you as a Moor, because there's a lot of money involved. A lot of money. You talking about over trillions and trillions of dollars. We talking about hundreds and hundreds of years behind of taxation, that money, that obligations that's owed to us. Y'all playing with pennies on the dollar when there's big money out there for us. And what it would do, it would allow that kind of money would put us back into the national space where now we can have a political voice around the world.
I told you he's a bad brother. I told y'all he's a bad brother.
So that's what we got to understand. So a lot of the lesser arguments talking about this and that, we're not looking at it from a international standpoint and a financial standpoint. We're arguing little small segments. But this is about big money. This is big business. Big business. This is big business on an international global scale. This social reform addressing coming back into the empire would give us financial wealth that you wouldn't even understand. So we cannot latch on to these ideologies that don't make sense. That don't make sense. We're not looking at it from a business standpoint. Some of us look at it as a historical standpoint, and they get into these arguments about who their ancestor is. And if you really looked at it from a business point of view and really made sense out of it, you would really see, like, wow, there's a lot of money on the table here. So much money, I couldn't even count. If I had 100 people, hands and feet, 1,000 people, hands and feet, I couldn't count that many times. That's what we're missing through the political legitimacy. The accounts, that's the money, the account that's owed to us. That's what we got to look at. And then we wouldn't have to worry about paying taxes. You wouldn't have to, my son going to college. I got to pay these taxes. I got to pay all of these fees. No, now we can open up our own schools. Our children can go to school for free. Now we can give out loans for businesses in our community. We can shape the environments because we will have the money. We will have the finances. We got the contracts. We just got to claim them. Let's put down the foolishness and all of these other ideologies and understand there is big business that need to be handled. We're handling our parents' business, our foremothers and forefathers' business. They left us a lot of wealth, and we don't even know how to claim the wealth. We're going to walk away from the table and claim other identities when they left us the bag. Because that's what a lot of y'all chasing anyway. So if y'all really want to get to the money, claim your nationality and understand with that nationality how much wealth come with it.
All right. The European colonial power, United States, Spain, France, Great Britain, Portugal, are acting like the landlords, and we are acting like the tenants. You nailed that home. How are we going to get our mother, Morocco, out of her 200-year plus period of coma if we are constantly being taxed by foreign powers and also being classified, as Negro, colored, Black, African American, colored, people of colored people? All right, you nailed that. Now I'll continue here. Through our reversion to sovereignty, we will be able to restore to our blood inherited rightful position as the landlords, and the foreign conquesting colonial powers will revert to their rightful position as the tenants on our land. And you really did a great job in addressing that. This is what needs to be done, and King addressed this. Vanish the individualism with the great emphasis on national political unity. Read that again. Vanish the individualism with the great emphasis on the national political unity. This is what the conference is about. the upcoming conference on May 18th. I said I'm going to continue to tie the conference in on May 18th here in Philadelphia at 800 West Alany Avenue. All right. The Moorish Governance, Birthright, and Nationality Claim Conference at Majestic Hall, 800 West Alany Avenue. All right, from 10:30 to 10:30 p.m. a.m. to midnight. All right, you can get. I have the flyer and the Eventbrite link pinned on my Abdullah Bey's Facebook page. All right, so this is the purpose of the conference. This is why King and others will be joining us here in Philadelphia. They'll be joining us on May 17th, the day before. So I'm looking forward to giving his brother. I'm gonna get his brother a hug when I see him. I ain't gonna say shake it. I'm gonna give him a hug. I'm being real. All right. So this King, you doing a wonderful job, brother. Oof, I'm loving this, man. Ask the international community. I want you to address this, King. Ask the international community about the international law violation.
Say that again, Abdullah. I didn't hear you.
This is one of the points that we talked about last week. Ask the international community about the international law violation. Okay. This is what you and I had this is one of the notes that you had dictated to me.
Oh, you want me to address that?
Yeah, I want you to expand on yes.
Okay. So when we go to the international community, we need to bring evidence, right, of all the things to get them involved, right, to raise the awareness of everything. Because what they believing right now, that we're consenting, we're participants in our own genocide, in our own captivity. We have to go to the international community and address this and have them get involved with the awareness factor. This is why this conference is so important, to educate the masses so that we can bring enlightenment to the international community so that they can put in other sanctions to be our brother's keeper in enforcing the United States to honor these contracts, to honor what they have agreed to, and also enlighten the community so that we shall, in the international world, how to handle and deal with these issues. Because nobody has been treated like the Moors. Nobody. So these issues need to be up. These can be new policies and standards that can be implemented into international law to prevent something like this from happening again. So that we can ensure the integrity and the thrivability of Moors. This is why we want to get the international community involved so that we can spread the awareness, get the international community involved so that we now can have other applications of law to ensure that this don't happen to us again.
Great job, King. Yeah. Okay. I know you got it. Yeah. So, King, you're doing a wonderful job. Let's open up for some questions right now. No, let's open up for some questions. Any questions? Do we have any questions? Type your questions in, y'all. Type your questions in. All right. So while we're waiting for questions, this is the last. All right. We have here. We need We need y'all elders. Thank you. Thank you for your study more. Thank you for your support. We're here for y'all. We're here for you. We are here for you. This is why I brought this brother on. I had Shem Malachi Bey on 2 weeks ago. All right. This is why I brought King on. All right. So we are here for you. I want to thank Brother Hank for this platform. Are there any Moorish business at the moment in either area you brothers are in? All right. Address that in the context of where is it more so right now, the businesses or the national political unity? So King emphasized the national political unity. That all right. We're not emphasizing the businesses. We're emphasizing the national political unity to protect the businesses. We need the national political unity. All right. All right. Hear me out. We don't need businesses right now. Hear me out, please, please. Businesses is not the primary issue, matter. National political unity. All right, let's keep our eyes on the prize. All right. Businesses. And you're putting the focus on businesses and not on the national political unity. Put the emphasis, the thought, the time, the study on the Moorish national political unity. This is what King is emphasizing. King mentioned about the opposition as being tenants right now. Our current position as being tenants and moving from that position as being tenants to our rightful inherited position as landlords of the land. And this is what King emphasized. He didn't emphasize business was a byproduct that we can do once the reversion to sovereignty, once the national political unity is there. So King, I want you to reiterate those points.
Well,
all right, please.
Let me give people an understanding. So let's break this down in the proper context so people can feel this information, right? What happens when you open a business? A business get taxed. You make other people wealthy. So the more you do business, I want you to think about this. The other Europeans get richer. They get richer. They're not going to get poor. They're going to get richer. If you got a successful business, you making some other people richer. Why? Because they are sitting in the position as the administrators and the landlords over the land. So it's going to be in vain anyway. If you come back into the political fold, right, guess what? The reversion of sovereignty is already, you're going to get so much money, it's going to be unbelievable. Now you can be able to really run a business successfully. Why? Because you will have the government backing you up. The government's going to say, okay, let's get the best and brightest. Let's take this money and put it to good use and create businesses for our community. And guess what? Now we can put bailout programs to bail you out if the business fails, just like they did. The housing market crash, what did they do? They bailed all them out. The automotive industry crash, what happened? They bailed all of them out. The airline industry crashing, what did they do? Bail all of them out. Why could they do that? Because they were back into political legitimacy as the landlords, and they know that they're going to constantly get taxes from me and you for opening up businesses and buying and purchasing goods and service. You're putting yourself in your own cage because you don't understand the political arena. Based on your ignorance of the political arena, we are doing our own demise because we refuse to understand these key points. So you going to make you think Michael Jordan made billions of dollars that he didn't make the other people behind him, Nike, even 3 times as much? You think LeBron James, Oprah, all of these billionaires, do you think there are not people ahead sitting on top of them? Let me explain to you, when Europeans, when they wanted these other Europeans to come over here, guess what they did? They gave them land for free. They gave them land for free. Why? So they could start businesses, so they could flourish. Why? That was the whole purpose. So they could come together and form what they got now. So we're focusing on the wrong issues. We need to understand the political issues internationally so that we can come together and now we can get what's owed to us. We too worried about the wrong thing. You want to have all this business and all of this money, but it's being taxed. I can say this, right? I worked as a nurse, right? I was working as a nurse. I got out of school, nursing school. I remember making a certain amount. Let's say 70,000. You know how much you gonna bring home roughly? About 40-something thousand. 30,000 went out in taxes. And who benefit from that? If you make 100,000, 30,000 is pretty much going out in taxes. And we ain't even talking about the other taxes. When you go buy your home, when you go buy your car, right? You got land taxes. You got to pay taxes. Then you go buy you some other products or goods. You got to pay taxes. On top of the taxes that they already getting. So you think like, oh, I'm doing.
All right, yes. So I thank you for that question. That was a great question because it gave us opportunity to go ahead, King. You're back.
I'm sorry, somebody was calling. But
Yes.
what we have to understand is that we're thinking, oh, we're doing so good. I'm making this money and that money. But think about the other people, that's how much money they made and how much empowering you gave them to keep us in a tenant position.
Some. All right, go ahead.
To only keep us. So we're doing this at our own demise because we don't understand the political arena. So everybody talk about all of this stuff because black folks think they're doing really good and they're not. That's why they created the school to prison pipeline, because they control the resources. That's why our communities in shambles and look like they do, because we don't understand the international fold of government. We don't understand what the purpose of government is to protect you, to ensure you get what you deserve. We want to play, oh, I'm a businessman game. But at any given time, if the feds want to come in, they can shut down your business. Guess what? If you go on the political legitimate side and they ain't got no jurisdiction, guess what? Your government can protect you and say, hold up, I ain't got no business here. See, when we understand how this stuff really works, then we will stop thinking backwards. And then we'll be rushing. Hey, man, we need to come together. Why? We need to go up here. We need to do this. We need to come and storm the international world. Why? Because we're owed not only reparations, but this will protect us, our children, and our businesses. Now you can do business and commerce without all the taxation. Imagine if you had made a true $1 million and all the millions of dollars came to yourself. and you ain't giving them 300,000, and then you got to pay all of these other expenses and taxes on top of that. What if the $1 million came in and you only had to pay taxes and sale taxes and all of those things versus then these federal and other state taxes that they're hitting you with? Imagine that. Imagine all of that. Imagine if the government give you a loan and they say, well, we're gonna give you have a free interest bearing loan, a no interest bearing loan, and we give you the money and you ain't gotta just pay the money back. You don't gotta pay no interest on it. Why? Because the government want to see you do good, because what that's going to do, it's going to empower our communities. See, we're thinking at small levels because we don't understand the larger levels. This is why we say foolish things, because we don't think about it from a business standpoint. Most of us ain't thinking it on a bit. I think like that. When I go to court and I deal with these things, I look at it from a different point of view because I litigated for so long and I did so much litigating. It made me well-rounded in my thinking, in my processing of information. So I don't look at the contracts the way most people do. I say, this is money here. Hold up, wait a minute. When I read these more, I say, it get me excited. Oh man, it's a lot of money on the table. I don't look at it and say, oh, these just some Moorish treaties, this is a part of my history. I say, man, I come as a man that understands contracts. So while y'all running, talking about I want to go get a business, you better make sure you stop and talk to King and Brother Abdullah, and we focus going to the international so we can become internationally correct, so we can enforce these contracts. And I guarantee you will have so much money that the government will give you so much money, you wouldn't even know how to see straight.
Listen, bro, you got to have this brother back. Brother King, now that you got the StreamYard link, we got to have you come back, because our folks, you got to do this repetitiously because they are hypnotized, man.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna fall back, but I like the way you do in your presentation, brother. Appreciate it, and thank you, Brother Abdullah Bey, for bringing on King El Bey. But y'all, our folks need to hear you 100 times a day.
I agree. King, can you, we're gonna have him back next week. We'll have him back next week.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, I'm back. I agree with you. In fact, I was thinking about that, Hank, to have him back, because one time is not enough. So I agree with that. So King, welcome back next week, and then we'll probably set up, maybe 2 or 3 more, times in a row. That's what Hank is talking about, because that having that consistency, so they can hear you this week and then next week, absolutely. I do agree with that. All right. So any questions? Any other questions, y'all? We got a few more minutes. Any other questions? I'm enjoying this, man. I want to really share this video. All right. Since there's no questions right now. Waiver of our nationality claims. Nationality is an international law human rights subject. The gender behind the Black, Negro, colored people, people of color, and African American fiction and law categories. We consent to them administering our Moorish estate. I mean, we're consenting to Spain and France, the foreign powers, the European foreign powers, administering our Moorish estates. You want to address that, King?
Okay. What a lot of us don't understand, when we take on these titles and we take on these identities, when you're dealing in contract law, you got to understand all of this stuff. And I don't really want to make it very technical, because it's very technical. And a lot of Moors are not technically sound to really truly understand these things from a contract point of view. But I'm going to give you a brisk understanding. When you claim these titles, right, you giving them evidence that they can use to say, look at Michael Jordan. Ain't he so happy? He's a happy Negro. Look at him. He got some money. He's a participant. Look at what he applying for. He's not making no nationality claim. The Negroes are happy. They like they fried chicken. So now those things go out the window. They want to subjugate you so that they can still have control of the resources. They taking your resources and making billions, trillions of dollars, and you getting pennies. And y'all talking about opening up businesses to make somebody else, the fat cat, even more fatter. So we acquiesce by taking on these statuses, becoming an agent to the very institution that's here to subjugate you and keep you in the current position. And you thinking that you doing great because you made $1 million last year. I made me $1 million. And you thinking you're doing fine, but the only thing you're doing is empowering them to keep you in the same position. No matter how much money you make, you would never make the rules. You would never have the last say. And you will always be the last in the dark. And we have to understand that from this position and what the nationality more and the national unity does. We only looking at it from certain historical points, but I'm looking at it as a businessman. This is business. What you talking about? Politics. What you think politics is business. We talking about doing some business on a global scale. Some of these businesses over here is like you having a kid lemonade stand, making $15, $20, $30, $40 a day. Do you know how much money there's on the table? Why they want to keep you in that position of subjugation under these applications of law? Do y'all understand what that means under these bogus, fraudulent contracts? And long as you continue to acquiesce and apply for these things, you're going to stay in the current position. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Look at the condition of your people as a whole. You might be worth $2-3 billion. But look at the people as a whole. Because when you look up at the top, all the people you think they don't look like you. They look like them. You might have one or two somewhere, but all the people at the top don't look like you. Wouldn't that make you feel uncomfortable if a whole bunch of people you was around didn't look like you? That means you will have to being comfortable with the uncomfortable. We have to understand this is business when we're talking about international politics and national unity. This is business. So we need to talk about this from a more business savvy position, looking at the contracts. Because a lot of y'all can understand when you go buy a house, when they foreclose on your house, what do they talk about? The contract. When they repossess your car, what do they talk about? The contract. They talk about the contract. When you go buy this TV from Rent-A-Center and you ain't paid your bill, they enforcing the contract. So when we talk about international political legitimacy, we're talking about enforcing contracts, enforcing not only the reparations, but they owe us the taxation so that we can put us back in the national fold to be able to be the rightful rulers of our own land.
All right, y'all. So we have once again the upcoming conference, the Moorish Governance Nationality Birthright Claim Conference. We said we're going to tie it in, and King did a wonderful job in doing that throughout the presentation. All right, so we have here once again the Moorish American Governance Birthright and Nationality Claim Conference. Political unity. You see here more misnomers: Blackmore, Blackamore, Blackmore as it's spelled in the 1560 Geneva Bible, Blackmore as it's spelled in the 1599 Geneva Bible. Article 15, Section 1 of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights states, everyone has a right to a nationality. Principle 3 of the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of the Child states, the child shall be entitled to a name and nationality. UNESCO proclaimed 1979 as the international as the International Year of the Child, and also UNESCO proclaimed 10 years later, 1989, as the International Year of the Youth. So I said before, this is evidence that nationality is a international human rights subject. I'm pointing to the evidence. Location: Majestic Hall, 800 West Alney Avenue, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 19130. Time 10:30 a.m. to midnight. It's all day event. Cost $125, includes lunch, dinner, and a Moorish ball. Once again, this flyer is pinned on Abdullah Bey's Facebook page, as well as the link, the Eventbrite link. So we're gonna have King back the next week, maybe for the next couple weeks. Next 2 or 3, 4. Where he can do a 4 parts. And we'll work with him. I'll work with him on the next presentation. The brother has a wealth of experience and knowledge, and I'm just, man, I'm so glad that he accepted the invitation to come on today, and I wanted. I'm also glad with that brother Hank has this platform, for our people. So, thank you, everyone. So, for my books, go to mooresandmasonry.org. And also for the Moroccan Post School of Government and International Law, have the free classes on the Moroccan Post Media YouTube page. King, just give them, King, come back on and let them know how they can reach you. What do you do? Just, because it's all you said it at the beginning, and let's just reiterate about who you are and then what you do. All right. So that's also at the end.
Okay. Um. Okay. So my name is King L. Bay. Once again, you can find me on Facebook under King L. Bay. With the E, it's not with the I. It's
Yeah.
KengelBey.
Yeah, they can see it
Um,
too, King. It's up there.
okay, so you also can find my book, How to Stop Child Support. I wrote a book on child support. It's on Amazon. Also, you can find me on Moorish Universal Society of Tribes. So a lot of people are having issues with their litigation. I do coaching strategies. I don't give you legal advice. I come from an experience. I talk about experience. We talk about mortgages, all of the different things, the various experience that you got to understand. You got to understand due process. When you walk into those courts, you got to understand what due process is. You got to understand claim mean debt. They're synonymous. In their jurisdiction, the word claim and debt is synonymous. So before the court can enter you into the jurisdiction, they must identify that there is a debt. So a lot of y'all acquiesce to submit to the jurisdiction without understanding your due process issues. You don't understand that you've been subjugated through a lot of your mortgage agreements, contracts, through due process into the courts. A lot of y'all not afforded any of the due process rights. Only y'all are limited to your scope of what due process is on a procedural and substantive level. A lot of y'all don't understand what the courts have to do to gain jurisdiction. There are federal and state requisites that must be met. That must be met. You must understand these requisites to be able to call them out on the floor. A lot of y'all are going to court and not understanding what these issues are, especially the nature and cause of action. They normally just give you the action without the nature. So we must understand these issues of litigation. So I like to kill all issues under due process violations due to the fact that due process is a constitutional guarantee. It cannot be waived. It cannot be bartered with. You must understand that. And if you don't know how to preserve your due process rights in the court so that you can win on appeal, a lot of y'all are going to lose the issues on these non-judicial states, on these mortgages, and these judicial states on these mortgages issues. So this is the spiel. These are the things that I bring to the table through my vast litigation experience, through criminal and civil. There's only one form of action, and it shall be known as a civil action. You must understand that. There's only criminal procedures. There's only criminal procedures. And if you don't know how to raise your civil rights, if you're going through these courts, because that's how they're pulling you in, then you're going to have issues. My name is King L. Bay once again, and you can find me at King L. Bay on Facebook and Moorish Universal Society of Tribes on Facebook. And I also have the Moorish Union of Sovereign Tribes on YouTube.
All right. Yeah, so King will be back next week. All right, King will be back next week. All right, so thank you again for joining us. This has been a great presentation. Once again, the topic is social reform on an international scale through restoring the knowledge of Moorish nationality, national identity to the Moors. All right, so I guess King next week we're gonna do the presentation on due process, King, next week.
Okay.
So since you brought that up as a major factor in the last minutes, so we'll prepare some of the stuff that we already prepared, King. So you're pretty much ready for next week. All right.
Okay.
All right. So we'll do that next week. All right. Thank you again, Brother Hank, for having us.
Okay. Peace and love, family.
Peace and love.